Good morning. My name is Alana. I'm currently a case manager here in Perth. I work for the Humanitarian Settlement Program. I'm the case manager for the Nannaa Family, and over the next 12 months, I will be walking alongside them as they begin their resettlement journey here into Australia. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the Bundjalung people, the traditional custodians of the land on which Ballina stands. I pay my respect to the elders past, present, and extend the respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people. I recognise the connection to land, water, culture, and community. I would also like to share with you that I have received consent today from the Nannaa family to share their story and discuss with you their case plan. I will also be drawing from what underpinned my practice when developing their case plan. I would also like to share that their story is quite upsetting and it can be emotionally draining. If you feel you need to talk to somebody, I would advise that you reach out to a family member, a work colleague, or a support person to share what this brought up for you. So I would like to introduce to you the Naanaa family. Kayla Nannaa is from Damascus, Syria. He's married to Jemana and together they have a 4-year-old daughter. Her name is Aya. Before the war, life was full of promises for them. Caleb worked at one of Damascus' major military hospitals. By day, he treated patients under the regime, but by night, he risked his life to care for the opposition. Using medical techniques he taught himself from YouTube, he became known for treating victims through an underground network. He later spent 3 years in Medea, a rebel-held town under siege by the Syrian army. The town was surrounded by mines, cut off from food, medicine, and aid. Children were starving. Horrified by what he saw, Caleb began filming. He filmed the devastation, the malnourished children, destroyed homes, and the overwhelming despair. His footage was shared online and caught the attention of a journalist named Sophie. Through her reporting, the UN intervened and sent much needed aid. But by then, Caleb's life was in danger. He fled to Lebanon, where he was reunited after 3 years with his wife Jemana and his little girl Aya. With support from the Australian Embassy, they eventually found safety here in Australia. They arrived with only their suitcase and they spoke very limited English. They endured profound trauma, loss and cultural displacement. My role as a case manager is to support them both practically and holistically using a trauma-informed and culturally responsive approach. When creating their case plan, I listened to the family and what they needed to settle here in Australia. Together, we created a case plan that looked at securing safe and stable housing, enrolling Aya into a kindergarten, connecting them to work, overall health and well-being, and connecting to culture here in Australia. My practice was guided by several key frameworks. I used the AGA and Strange Integration Framework, which reminds me that true integration goes beyond ticking all the boxes. It's about identity, connection, and belonging. Caleb's hopes to return to healthcare. Jemana, a university graduate and former art teacher, wants to contribute meaningfully. Aya deserves stability, routine, and the freedom to simply be a child. Maslow's hierarchy of needs grounds my practice in the basics: safety, food, and shelter must come first before we can support healing, growth, and self-actualization. The Naanaa family is a portrait of strength. Kaylee is skilled and compassionate. Jemana is creative, insightful, and resilient. That's why I take a strength-based approach, because they are not defined by their trauma, but by their perseverance, purpose, and hope. We are also exploring community connection. For Jemana, her culture and religious identity is deeply important to her well-being. We are looking into local mosques and women's support groups. For Aya, we are exploring playgroups and early education options. And for Jemana, potential employment in education or community arts. I also use the Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems. His theory reminds me that well-being is influenced by every layer of a person's life, from schools and health systems to neighbourhood and friendships. My role is to reduce the anxiety and help the family navigate these systems with dignity and support. We are also considering referrals to specialist services, programs for survivors of torture and trauma, and grief and loss counselling. Caleb hasn't seen his extended family in over 5 years. Maintaining emotional connection while ensuring safety is a delicate but essential balance. Cultural safety is central to this work. It means we don't assume, we ask, we listen. What are their dreams? What does a good life look like for them? I aim to support each family member in setting personal goals, developing individual case plans in their own time. I also draw on Jim Iffy's integrated model of community development, which teaches us that this work is not just about supporting individuals, it's about advocating for them. Inclusion, empowerment, systemic change. Resettlement is not about assimilation, it's about belonging. Supporting the Nannaa family is about more than delivering services, it's about helping them put down roots, reclaim identity, and reconnect with their community. It's about walking beside them with empathy, respect, and the belief that they have every right to survive. I will continue to walk with them, and I'm honoured to be a part of the next chapter in their journey as they settle here into Australia. They will grow, thrive, and flourish in their new community. Thank you for listening.